Recording has started.
All right, thank you. Um, Good evening, and thank you. Thank you for taking the time to hop on. You guys remember that we were going to do a short meeting, and I was looking at the agenda, and I would, with your permission, I would really love to let's limit the meeting to the annual report. We can certainly talk about the request for the LEA in the January meeting. And that would be my preference, but I will go with whatever you guys would prefer. So let's just start, and then once we go through the annual meeting, I mean the annual report, if you guys want to continue, then we will. Okay. Um, all right. So again, thank you for coming in. Hold on a second. My computer is not down, so I have to kind of remember. Let me just get started rather than pulling this up. You did receive a copy of the cleaned up version of the annual report. I think Kiana has done a great job of putting everything together. Did everyone have an opportunity to kind of look at it? And do you have any comments and that can we talk about?
I'm trying to pull it up now
Okay.
so I can share it with everybody. There we go.
Okay.
Last night I took a look at it, and I think it is, for the most part, in very good shape. I picked up, and I think through the pickup of all the comments, maybe a dozen or so typos. I marked those in a document and sent it back to everyone last night. I tried to limit my changes to typographical, grammar, and factual corrections only. I hope I stuck with that. Certainly tried to.
Okay, well, I did not look at it last night. I will after the meeting so we can get this going. But so you sent it last night. We'll take a look at that. Kiana, I'm assuming that you did not have time to include Mr. Gormley's comments, or did you?
It was one thing that I had seen that I could let me see if I can do this way. Hold on one second. It was one thing that I seen that I like, it was a typo. But the thing is with that, like I was saying before we had started, everybody's changes were like clashing with each other's. So I tried to incorporate as much as I possibly could.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do this, Kiana. I think Mr. Gormley is right. You don't want typos, grammatical, and stuff like that. So why don't you take another stab at it and include his typos, grammaticals, and so forth, and then I'll take a look at it. I'll take a look at it to make sure that what I see is whatever is proper and
Okay.
complete, and then we'll send it back out. Hopefully, we can do this either after the meeting or first thing tomorrow morning.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Anyone
if I
else?
could
I'm sorry.
just
Go ahead, Jim.
make an observation. I think, Annette, I think you articulated this at the last meeting. I think our objective tonight was to vote on the report. And I think a suggestion made at the last meeting to vote on the report subject to typos was not.
Yes, I think you're right. I think you're right.
I'm sorry,
Mr.
was not something we decided we'd pursue. So my proposal would be, rather than Nellie going to another round of the document, these are very, very simple changes. I can go through them, and I think that others may. Annette, I know you mentioned you may have a couple of adds that you wanted to raise. I think we can resolve that in 20 minutes and vote upon a document that has these typos in them.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. But I don't want to take the time tonight to go through typos, and I don't want it in grammatical errors. I think you are absolutely correct, but because you brought it up, I want to make sure that I'm on the record that those will be completed. But you're absolutely right. We discussed this at the last meeting. So let me just default. Okay. Yeah. I see somebody's hand. Who is that? Mr. Morales. Yes.
And just to follow up, because I did see that some of the edits that were made, that were in conflict where we said do this and somebody else do the opposite of that. So we were correcting each other. At least for me, I saw that a couple of times. But more important for the point is that this is going to be looked again by a professional group, correct?
Yes.
Okay, because I mean, we're going to do what we need to, and we should be, and I hear you, Arnett, in terms of submitting something that's, our best foot forward. But if anything in terms of grammatical or there's different MLAs or whatever, different ways of writing, the styles of writing, I think that group is probably going to pick that up, correct?
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry. Let me just interject. My understanding is that that third party is just to format and like
Got it.
get ready
Got
for
it. Okay.
print. They're not good. They are not authorized.
No, we have someone else that is going through to check the grammatical errors as well.
Who is someone else?
Someone else in the office with us in county administration
Yeah,
that
but-
specializes in doing stuff like that.
That's what I thought Michelle, I
Michelle
think her name
said.
is. Yeah, that's what I think Michelle had said, that somebody was going to look at the document for
Okay,
those
can I
subjects.
interject, please? We're kind of getting off, okay? Let's just do this. I really want to vote on this, okay? So why don't we do this? Does anybody have any objection to approving the annual report, as Mr. Gormley said, subject to typos, grammatical, and so forth, not stylistic, but anybody who has sent in observations for typos, grammatical errors, and so forth. I do want to acknowledge that, and regardless of who's going to look at what, I really don't have it. What I don't want to do is spend 20 minutes or anybody else's time. If anyone else wants to weigh in, just do so, but just send your comment to Kiana. I would prefer that even if it goes to another person in the office, I want to be comfortable that we're not sending them typos and grammatical stuff. So other than that, does anyone have any comments on that? My point is, I just want to get this annual report done, subject to the correction of typos and so forth. Because see, if we don't,
I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, please.
So I just want to make sure I understand. You're proposing to approve the annual report subject to any grammatical
Yes,
or
typo, yes.
or typographical so I guess subject to any corrections for any grammatical or typographical error. And,
Yeah.
And then who are you delegating the task of identifying those grammatical or typographical errors?
Well, I will look at them. I mean, or
It was
anyone else. If
only-
anyone else, hold on a second, please. If anyone else want to take this on, I'm fine with that. I just don't want the report to go to a third person, and I don't know who this person is and so forth. But if anyone else feels comfortable with that, you go right ahead. I mean, Jim, I don't know. I haven't seen Jim's typos and grammatical so forth so I can't even really speak on that. But I will take a look at it, and I'll do so tonight, as a matter of fact, and just send out an email to you guys, and we can. I don't know. Other than that, I'm really not sure on how to handle this. What is the suggestion of the body here?
That's a question.
Yes,
And maybe probably Kiana would know this. Is it possible to do a shared? I mean, because there are going to be several documents that we're going to be looking at, over the course of time. Do you have SharePoint or some other type of platform upon which, when changes are made, we all see them and at the same time, and everyone can work on that most recent document?
Yes, we did. We did, and that was actually sent out. Kiana, you can speak on that, please.
Yes, so it was in Microsoft that I shared it with everyone, and then
Right.
I got the comments back from that. The stuff that I seen from Mr. Gormley today was not, I'm not going to say it's not grammatical, but it's just, I guess, his style of writing, because the things that were changed were already changed.
Okay.
Let me just
So what you're
comment
saying
on
is
that.
that-
Let me
I'm
just
I'm
comment
sorry,
on
hold
that
on a
very
second.
quickly.
So, Mr. Gormley, please.
I'm sorry, Nellie.
Can you?
No, you, please, I want to.
Can I finish?
You made the changes, so.
Can I finish? I'm just
Talking.
asking whether or not, because this document didn't, I just saw Word documents. I didn't see where it was a Microsoft shared document. There you,
Should have been. But I mean, I can share it again. It's not a problem.
Yana, just for the sake of clarification, what Brenda is referring to is not a Word document.
Right. It's a
Right.
shared document.
Right. So I've never received a document from you that was in SharePoint or any other form that allowed us to make a change and people see it at the exact same time. So we
Okay.
all document all the time. And that means that whenever somebody makes changes, they're making it always on the one document. So that would mean you wouldn't have as much to do because we would already be editing the documents for you.
Okay.
So I think what Brenda was asking is whether or not you even have that level of technology.
that's exactly what I was asking. Thank you, Arnetta.
You're welcome. So I don't know, do you have that
Yes, we
available
do.
to
The
you?
county has,
Yeah.
we do have work share.
Okay, so that's in the future, that's what we're certainly looking for, and that would minimize some of the back and forth.
Okay.
And I think since, in the interest of time, since Nellie was saying that, hey, there's probably going to be some additional grammatical and typographical changes, if we could start like immediately, that would be great. So we don't have to go back and forth again.
Okay, can I ask one quick question? Just so I could try to help the group. Kiana, other than the edits which Mr. Gormley sent last night, have all the other changes?
All the rest of the changes were incorporated.
Okay, so right now we're only dealing with one set of changes from Mr. Gormley that were sent last night. Madam Chair, I've looked at those changes proposed by Mr. Gormley. They're really not that many. I know that you didn't want to spend additional time, but I think we could go through each change and give a vote up or down on whether or not to make that change. And it wouldn't take this group right now more than 20 minutes. Then at that point, we would have a document that has everybody's edits and the group can move to vote to adopt it as its final report.
Yeah, that's fine, Sega, and thank you, because I did not look at the document. I'm just going on past history and and I think and thank you, Brenda and Arnetta. I really appreciate the clarification because I actually thought that everybody was, but so, thank you, and I appreciate the correction. I agree with you, Sega. Let's just go. Can everybody just pull up the changes? Is that okay? And then therefore we can just either vote on them and
Can we do a share screen? So we're
Would it
all
be
looking at.
I
Would it
was
be helpful
trying
if I
to do
shared the
that.
document?
Jason, how can I share the screen? Because it was saying I needed an admin password to do it. Well, can I just send it to
Hold
you
on.
and you share it?
Excuse me just a second. Paul Rivers just texted me and said that he's muted and he's muted. So if we can unmute him.
Okay, who did you say was muted and needs to be
unmuted?
unmuted?
Is he the calling user?
Yeah, he's showing under attendees, not panelists, so he needs to be changed to a panelist.
I will take care of that. Give me one.
Now, Kiana, when I tried to share, it said you were sharing your content.
So actually, it's a better idea for Kiana to just send it to who's our admin person?
Right, that's what I was saying because
Hey.
once I tried to do it, it was asking for a password.
Who's our admin person
Yeah.
today, Kiana?
Jason.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jason.
I'll take care of Hey, it. can Just I send it to me and I'll take care of it.
Okay,
Send it
thank
by
Do you
email.
want her to email it to you and then you'll share it on the screen?
Yep, I'll share it on the screen. If you
Alright.
need me to
Excuse me,
type
guys.
anything, I'll type
Oh,
something.
well, but Kiana, if he does it, then you won't be able to do it right there on the spot, whether it's like accept or deny the change.
Well, no. What I'll
Excuse-
do is I'll just
Make
have the
notes.
document up
Oh,
and
I
then
see. Okay,
I'll
that's
follow along. That's not a
That's fine. Okay, perfect. So she'll follow along.
Can anybody hear me?
separately.
yes, we can hear you.
Can you please send me the password so I can log into the video conference? I've been trying for 25 minutes. I call in, nobody can hear anything I'm saying, and it's frustrating. So can somebody please send me the video into the panelist password so that I can get on the system? It's a little frustrating right now, so
The
Mr.
I've been
panelist
doing this for
password
20
is
minutes.
comment.
Comet, C-O-M-E-T.
I would not have advised saying that out loud because the attendees can hear that as well,
On it.
folks.
Yeah. All right. My apologies.
It's not working anyway.
But
I
isn't that
just-
just us?
No. You guys
have
are
people in the
public right now,
public.
so everybody just heard that. So it's a little too late to take that back, but I can manage it from my
Well, it's in
side.
the email.
It's in the email
not
to
an
just
email.
us.
It's
It's
just
not in
the
the email
panelists,
to
yes.
the public.
It's a mistake. My
It's
apologies.
not an email. And I didn't get it in the email.
All righty.
Hey,
Stressed
Jason,
out
do
right
we
now.
need to do anything can you change that password now to make sure it's secure?
I'm gonna try, but like I said, I can also manage it from my side. If someone tries jumping on, I can kick them off, that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay, yeah, let's not worry about that then.
Given it was my error, I'll keep a very close eye on the participants as well.
As an FYI, Kiona, I've also made you co-host of this if you'd like to try sharing it yourself before I try sharing this.
Okay, all right, let me see. Would I just go to file and then just share the file?
On the
No.
bottom of your screen in the meeting itself, there is a share button.
There, drop,
For me, it's
there's a share
between
drop box.
mute and all the others.
Okay, I see that.
Yeah, so if you hit that share button, it'll show you a bunch of screens, and one of them should be the file you have open right now.
Oh, okay, all right. Do I got the document up? I do, but I don't see it on here though.
When I click on the
You can
email,
click on share my webinar window.
I hate this.
Mr. Rivers, please be mindful that this is a public meeting and we can hear you. Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Let me mute myself here.
Paul, you're calling user 3, I assume, right?
Paul?
Yes.
Okay, you could also do what I did. You don't have to go through the password process. You could go to the agenda on the website, click on the WebEx link, enter the WebEx, and then we could have Jason elevate you to a panelist. And that makes
Okay.
it
I'm on the website. I'm on the WebEx site now. I have clicked
no.
on emails that were sent to me.
no,
And
I'm giving
it
you a
keeps
different way.
asking me.
Let me
Say
give you
again?
let me give you a different way that's going to make it much easier and like straight to the point, okay?
Okay.
All right,
I'm
go
listening.
to just Google Howard County Police Accountability Board and go to the Police Accountability Board website. And let me know when you're there.
Okay. Give me a second. Okay. Accountability Board. Submit complaints. All right. I'm on the Accountability Board website.
Okay, scroll down and right under submit a complaint, you should see where it says board information and then it says meetings and there should be a plus sign that allows you to open up the meetings like Dropbox.
Meetings X. Okay. Click on that. And I see that's what the meetings are.
Okay,
Meeting X.
so do you see where it says December 12th, 2022 and you could click on agenda?
Yeah.
No, I don't. Let me go ahead and try this again. One second.
You want me to
Yeah,
send you the
let's see
link?
the agenda. Yeah, I see it. The agenda. Click on that.
Yes.
Okay, click on agenda.
Uh-huh.
And then once you open up the agenda, at the very top, it says location, and then there's a link that says WebEx meeting.
Unfortunately, it didn't open up like that for me. It opened up in a complete different document. Give me a second.
You don't see the agenda? No, it is a complete separate document. It says agenda on it, right?
Right, and then when it opens up in a complete different web. It opens up in their own browser. Then I say WebEx meetings. Okay, click on that. All right, I
Yeah,
did
you
that,
see-
and then it
Okay,
has my name. And
correct.
then
And
when I
just
click
log
on
in.
that, it asked me for panelist password. That's what it came with, the panelist password. I've been dealing with that for a while now.
Wait, when I click on, that's how I got in. You shouldn't, that's the link to the public. The public doesn't need a panelist. Are you clicking on the link that's on the actual agenda you just opened up?
Yep.
And it's asking you for a password when you click on that link that
It-
says WebEx meeting?
It did. I'm clicking again to see. Yep. It has my name in it. It says join the webinar. I've been on this thing before, so it has my name already plugged in with my email account. And
Okay.
then underneath it says remember me. Then I hit next, and when I hit next, it goes enter panelist password.
Okay.
Don't
can
worry
you-
about it. Go on with the meeting. I will participate from the phone. I'll deal with this another time. Go ahead on with the meeting. Don't worry about
Well,
it.
you won't be able
I'll
to
deal with.
see, you won't be able to
I'll
see
just.
and vote on or can you open up Mr. Gormley's email separately then from last night?
I probably can open that up. And
Because you
take a
won't
look
be
at
able
it.
to see the document as they go through it.
You guys can go ahead through it. I'll find it on. I'll find it over here. And go that route. So I don't want to hold everybody up.
Okay.
I'm just having
Mr.
technical
Gormley,
difficulties,
did you
so I'm going to
email
mute
that
myself.
document to
Yes,
everybody?
I emailed it to everyone yesterday. I've just emailed it to Kiana now so she can put that version up on the screen. And Paul, I'm about to email it directly to you as well, so you can follow along, even though it's not on you're not on the screen. So Paul, you'll have that momentarily.
I appreciate it. Sorry, guys. A little
I've just
frustrated
hit
right
send
now.
now.
So.
No, we need you on, Paul. So no worries at all. You will have
Alright.
the version that we're going to be talking about momentarily.
All right. Thank you.
I'm about to do it over because I had mine up so I could make the changes.
You can just accept or reject. Kiana, you know how to do that in the review
Yes, I
function?
do.
You can
I do.
accept and reject. That's the way to do it.
1 second. Open this one.
Can I propose that I lead the discussion, given that they're my comments, I'll be able to explain them quickly.
Jim, I have your email, so I'm good. Thank you.
Excellent. So we're just about, Paul, we're just about to load. I think, Kiana, you'll be loading it up on the screen here momentarily.
Yes. There you go.
Fantastic. Now, I don't have control of it, but we can go straight to the first page, which is Nellie's letter. So in that second paragraph there, is there any way for you to make it bigger, or is it okay for everyone? Can you all see that?
Well,
Great,
better.
that's much better. Let me explain the reason for the change here. The approval by the county council was in May. I went back and checked, not June. So when you put May in there, you can't say May twice. So that's how I have made the factual correction. The approval from the county council was in May. And in order to not say May twice, I put by Dr. Ball in there instead, so it makes sense. So that's all the changes there to affect the accuracy of the county council approval being in May.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is Arnetta. I just want to make sure that either Sega or Kiana has confirmed that it's actually May, because for some reason I have it as June for the actual approval. The nomination in May and the approval in June. So as long as Kiana or Sega can confirm that, then I think we'll be fine with that.
I can't confirm.
Yeah,
or-
me either. I would have to check
don't
with Michelle them because I wasn't even working here at that time.
I mean, I went back and looked at the calendar for the meeting. You'll recall that it was a live meeting. Paul, you and I attended it, and I'll give you the date of it now. I think, Nellie, you may have been there as well, but Paul, you and I met for the first time at that meeting.
I remember. I'll give you
I
the
was
date in a
told that it
second.
was May and not, okay, so it's May. It's not June.
No, hold on.
May 16th is the day that we had to testify in
Yeah.
front of the, I think it was the day we testified was May 16th.
May 16, and the approval was that night.
They didn't come back to official approval till June 6th, I think, or
That-
June.
Then
Yeah.
I
That's when
I
we
stand
see
corrected.
the
I thought the vote was
email.
on that night of the testimony. You're right, that was June 6th, and I stand corrected.
So we're going to delete this whole entire sentence that you corrected, or just
No,
Yes, no.
just reject each change that he made.
Yes.
I can't see with this thing up here.
You just right click on the actual change and then click reject.
Oh, all right, got you. Because I was trying to do it from the top.
Nope.
All right.
You also can take out the by Dr. Ball.
By Dr. Ball can go as well, yeah.
And then, yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
You're rejecting everything there.
yep.
Mhm.
Okay, some will observe that I'm off to a very good start. So let me go to the next one, which is in the next paragraph, and it's simply missing the word or inserting the word to there.
Everybody agree?
Yes, Arnetta does.
Yes.
Mr. Morales, I'm assuming you agree.
I apologize, Ricardo Morales, agree.
Okay, no, you're fine.
No,
Brendan,
I agree. Yes, I agree.
And
Okay.
yes, I agree.
Okay.
Great. I'm on the next page.
Yeah. Give me 1 second. Okay. There we go.
I'm
Is
sorry,
that-
Kiana, before you go to the next page, can you scroll back down? Back up, I'm sorry. Go back up to that page. Right here. The third paragraph. Sega. I can you speak to open and close session or sessions? How is it supposed to be?
the board met 10 times over 5 months and open and closed. I would say sessions.
Okay.
Good with me. Yep.
That was the only so on there.
Thank you, Anita.
You're welcome.
Okay, the next change here is to have the definitional term or the board included within the parenthetical. You see it on the first line.
Okay.
You, yeah, you can accept the parenthetical there after the word the board.
Can I make a suggestion here?
Yes, please.
Maybe we should just add here and after refer to as, and then put in, parentheses, PAB or end paren, and then, or open paren, board, close paren.
Okay, that's fine with me.
So take out the and just put PAB. Or
So basically here you do, here and after, so after, where it opens the parentheses,
mm-hmm.
at the very beginning, you'd say herein after HEREINAFTER.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's one word here, HEREIN. Nope, IN,
And after.
space, referred to as, oops, sorry, open, quotation marks. No quotation marks, not closing.
Oh,
the-
I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Like put in PAB in caps,
Mm-hmm.
close paren. Or,
Mm-hmm.
open paren. again, you want to do the parentheses. Board, capital with a capital B, and paren. And then close the parentheses there. And you have a space between the open parentheses and P and PAB, just take that space out.
So I got a space
Well,
where?
the quote
Between
of
the quote
PAB.
and PAB.
Oh, okay, got you. All right.
Yep. And then, do you guys agree with that?
That's fine with me. This is Nellie.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, moving on to the next, oh, let me see.
Hold
we
on,
got-
just 1 second, Jim.
Hold on,
Yeah.
right, because I'm
Clean it up there, yeah.
Delete, just Kiana.
but I'm
just
taking
delete
this all this
the-
out.
Yeah, just delete it. Yep. And then before Jim moves on to his next, and this could be for your or whoever your internal person is, but there should not be a comma after 22. I know some people put a comma after every date, but check with your grammatical.
I'm deleting that
depends
comma
on
as well.
whatever.
Oh, so accept that change then, accept that deletion.
Yeah, except.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tremendous. I've changed our to its because boarded singular.
Is that okay with everybody?
That's fine with me.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm fine. This is Ricardo.
Yes, I'm fine too.
In this paragraph as well.
That's fine
Okay.
with me.
Terrific. We can move down to the next change, which is a couple of paragraphs below on Feb 9. I wasn't able to track where this came from, and so I'm highlighting it because I'm not sure at the moment that it makes sense and/or it doesn't make sense to me. So it says here on May 16, 2022. By the way, I filled that,
It was a blank in there.
and that is incorrect. That's June, isn't it?
Yes. So we'll
So
do
that was-
June.
Paul had confirmed that was June 6, I think, right?
Oh, that is not true. Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on.
It's the rest of it isn't true.
The
Yeah.
approval date. The approval.
The approval date
June
is
the
June.
6th?
Yeah.
June the 6th.
Was the legislative session on June 6? Yeah.
That's correct.
So
June
it could
6th.
say on June 6th, 2022.
But what and this is the one where I put a comment in the side. It's not showing up here, but that's fine because I can just talk to it. This says that the county council approved the recommendations from each of the, it says 6, it's 5, councilmanic districts. But I don't know what recommendations we're referring to, who made those recommendations, where they came from, and I don't think it's accurate either. This was actually, we should actually be just saying here the council approved, approved the candidates. So we can rework that if you agree with me. I don't think referring to recommendations coming out of the councilmanic districts is accurate or needs to be said.
I think that refers to each member of the council represent nominated persons from their district to Dr. Ball. But your point is noted, and we could just keep it clean by just saying on June 6, 2022, the county council approved the
Ball's
candidates.
recommendations.
Yeah, or the Dr. Ball's nominees to the board.
Mhm.
I don't think those recommendations from the county councillors were public, and I'm not even sure they were all accepted. So we shouldn't be referring to them, I don't think.
Well, that's
That's us.
fine. That's fine. Does everybody agree with saying I do?
But whoever came up with the language, I'm just wondering, where'd you pulled it from somewhere, correct?
Well, it really, I thank you for the comment, but I think it doesn't really matter because even if it was pulled from somewhere else, I mean, when we were looking at the June versus May, that was pulled from documents also. So I think in order just to make it a clean copy, what Sega said is true. We can just clean it up and make it generic. And unless somebody thinks it's important to mention that the recommendations came from the councilmatic district, which I don't think is incorrect, but I mean, it just leaves open for a lot of unnecessary discussion. So I think we can just go with the general comment that Sega, mentioned. And last, Brenda, you think it's necessary for some other reason?
No,
Okay, so what are we putting here?
just,
So you could take out, delete his comment,
Okay.
so I could see what the sentence says. Okay, so on June 6, 2022, the county council approved, and then delete the recommendations from each, start with the recommendations,
Mm-hmm.
and go to until the word on.
And take this whole thing out.
Yeah, leave on, yeah, that's fine, yeah, and then I'll tell you what to add.
Okay.
Just say the county council approved Dr. Ball's
Mm-hmm.
nominees to, that's it.
Okay.
Is that what the board?
And then what about, and then the two members were selected to serve at large? Would they not be, can we just delete that also?
Yes, that sentence no longer makes sense with the deletion of the prior.
Excellent. Ready to move on?
Yeah.
Great. If we just
Oh,
drop
what
down.
about this whole Dr. Ball signed into law Council Bill 83, 2021? Is that what you guys want to accept that?
No,
That's
that's
actually a
just
link.
underlined because that's a hyperlink.
It's a hyperlink, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I thought it was a change. Okay, sorry,
No, I'm in red ink on this one at the moment. so-
sorry.
No worries. Drop down to count the next paragraph. You'll see there that set should be without the S because there's 3 subjects.
Okay.
Okay, great. Now I think we can move right along.
Mine's A and Nellie's
So
bio.
Nelly, I unless you're the only founding member, you'd have to put the word A in there, I think.
Okay.
Okay, so with Nelly's approval, that's good.
I'm sorry. Can we go back to Ms. Kiana's counselors? On the degree piece, bachelor should not be capitalized. Psychology or master's criminal and justice, those should not be capitalized. Because the only capitalized, if you say bachelor's of arts in psychology, then all of it is capitalized.
Right, and that was the inconsistency between everybody. So
Yeah,
which way is the right way?
well, because I had looked it up just to make sure, because I wasn't sure how that was, but that's the case. Unless you're using the full name of the program, it's capitalized. But if not, in this case, with bachelor's degree in psychology, then it would not be. Unless you want to change it and say bachelor's of arts in psychology and master's in criminal justice, then everything is capitalized.
Ricardo, I'm happy to rely on your research there. And if unless anyone else disagrees, if you could just make the changes. Ricardo?
Yeah.
What specifically should Kiana change?
I think she's
I'm
doing
doing
it now. She's doing it now.
Okay.
And yep, and that would be correct.
Only other comment
Oh, I'm sorry,
I
what are we
had.
changing?
Okay, she's making those changes
Can you,
now.
can you see
What
it?
changes?
To my bio.
I can't. On whose
the
bio?
other,
Kiana's bio.
and the only,
Paul can't see it. Paul, we'll read the changes to you momentarily.
All right, thank you, because I can't see anything, so,
Yeah,
okay.
this is the one we've diverted from the draft that's in front of you at the moment. Kiana, thanks very much. And Ricardo, I think we've captured your changes, I think, Ricardo?
That is correct, yes.
Great. So Paul, I'm going to read the second paragraph of Kiana's bio. It's now going to read as follows. It's going to read the same thing, but oh no, it's got to have a little bit in it. It's going to say, Ms. Kinsler has a background in psychology and criminal justice. She holds a bachelor's of arts, and that's with a capital B and a capital A, in psychology, capital P, and a master of arts, capital M, capital A, in criminal justice, capital C, capital J, both obtained from Coppin State University.
Got you. Thank you.
Okay, Paul. We've done the change on Nellie's bio by inserting the A. So I'm now to the next page, and these are simply just formatting. Kiana, it's really
The space. Is it the space?
Yeah.
Okay. Right, that was fixed.
Right.
It should. I went back and fixed that this morning, so that shouldn't be. I mean, but I'll accept the change now. But
Accept the change, yeah. Well, basically, underneath, after the name of the member, there was a gap on some of them and no gap on others. So I just went with putting the gap in for all of them.
okay, that's fine.
Yep. And hopefully you may be better. You will be better than me. I wasn't able to really get the formatting of that space very well, but there it is anyway.
It's not letting me accept the change, but I got it.
We're down to Paul's bio. Ricardo, I may defer to you again here just to look at this. I was going only with consistency by capitalizing the C and the J in criminal justice and the T in technology. So consistency would capitalize those terms unless anyone disagrees.
Why is management, if we're going to do that, why is management not capitalized?
Because I think that's just management training courses, generically.
Mr. Rivers can answer to that, I guess.
So it's technology. Okay, I see. I see.
I'm looking at,
Okay.
The
For your
technology is
bio?
fine.
there's a spelling error in
No,
this too.
it's for the degree title. It says Bachelor of Science in Administration. The C and the J, Mr. Gormley says should be capitalized, and then the Associates in Public Service with a major in Criminal Justice Technology. The T in technology in the next, or in the same sentence, should be capitalized.
I'm looking. Am I looking at this? Oh, I see what they did. Okay.
Are we waiting for someone's approval on this?
Yeah, I think we're waiting for Paul.
Okay.
Okay, what did you want? All right, what I'm looking at is you wanted to capitalize the C in criminal justice, right? Is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
C and the J, yep.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
And the T in
What
technology.
else? That's fine.
Great, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Let's,
I'm
yeah,
trying to-
we're good.
Great. So we
Okay.
can move on to the next page. Thank you. And the T,
Hold on.
yeah.
My mouse pad is like not working today. All right, there we go. Let's take it out. I'll fix it. We're not going to keep sitting here waiting for me. All right, go ahead.
Well, and the T, you'll accept the T as well on technology.
Yes, I will. Yes.
Okay, so now,
Is it not letting you accept the change?
Yeah, I don't know why, like, the mouse pad is just like when I'm clicking on it, it's not working.
Can you are you on your laptop?
Yes.
In lieu of the mouse pad, that's happened to me before. Can you use the pad on your actual laptop? You know, the track pad. That way they see exactly what the changes are when they adopt it, when they vote.
See, in this thing at the top, I cannot see. Like, because I have the share screen thing at the top. Let me just try to do it again. All right, there we go.
nice,
Okay.
excellent. Yeah,
Yep.
that's
Yes,
great,
yes,
Fiona.
yes,
As Sega said, that will
No, no.
allow us to vote on a clean document, so that's great.
Okay.
Okay.
Now we're right
The
here.
title of Police Accountability Board meeting summaries, you'll see that there is a gap that I've inserted from the title to the start of the text because that's to be consistent.
Hey, Kiana, there was one change you didn't make with regards to spacing because you couldn't earlier. Can you make that one too?
Yeah, I will.
Okay. Like, I mean, if you can, like right now, so they will see the whole report as is and they vote on the final one.
While you do that, I just had a question. Actually, specifically though, kind of for Brenda, for your Howard County Human Resources Society's Diversity Inclusion Committee, is it diversity and inclusion, or there is no and?
There's no and.
Okay.
I'm clicking this and it's not moving.
Are you using your trackpad or no?
Yeah. The same way I was making all the rest of the changes, I'm doing it the same way and it's not coming up. I mean, I know where the things is, it's not,
Okay.
I'm not going to spend like 20 minutes on me trying to make a space change. I can fix it though, but.
Okay. Okay.
Let me just very quickly. So actually, if you look at Herman's bio, I'm just going to note this as we go, understanding, Kiana, that you're having difficulty with space changes. But can we just scroll back to Herman's bio? You will see that there are 2 space changes there that will need to be dealt with to be consistent. And for Anetta's, there is also a space that will need to be included. For Ricardo, at the title again, right there, it's marked. There is a space. Okay. So I'm just noting the spaces to render it consistent. There was either a gap or there wasn't a gap, and it varied. So we've gone with a gap. Okay. Police Accountability Board meeting summaries. You'll notice there then that after the title Police Accountability Board summaries, there's a gap. And now I'm down to the entry for August 24, 2022. Small a for A after the colon because it's not a new sentence.
Are y'all all in agreement today?
That's fine.
Yes.
It's fine.
Okay, I'm down on the last line of that paragraph. When you have a compound subject, you can't have a compound subject with the words as well as. So we can say as well as setting, or we can change it to and set. I preferred as well as setting, but we can't leave it like that. It would be grammatically incorrect.
Say it again, Jim. You said
You can't use as well as and draw in a compound subject. The compound subject there would be county administration twice. You can't do that with as well as. You have to use and. There's a rule which does not allow you to use compound subjects with the term as well as. So grammatically correct to say county administration staff summarize PAB duties and set future meeting dates. You can use a compound subject with the word and, or if you want to stick with as well as, it would be county administration staff summarize PAB duties as well as setting future meeting dates. We can do one or the other.
I was like, if you say so. I don't think we should have and twice in that sentence. So if you want to say
I agree.
as well as setting, I don't know. I've never that one. I don't know.
Well,
I'll take your word for it, Jim. I'm fine with it.
Exactly right.
well, yeah, it was based upon my 50-year-old grammar training, 45-year-old grammar training, but I did look it up as well. So
are y'all all in agreement with that change?
Ricardo, yes.
Okay.
there's a deletion of the W. You've done that already.
Yeah, I did
and,
that. I noticed that myself.
Great, and delete were set. Just a carry on for that correction.
Okay.
But the same issue as well as summarizing in the next paragraph.
All in agreement?
Yeah, but I'm
Yes.
honestly I'm struggling with it. So let your grammar person take a look at it.
Well, okay. Am I muted? Okay. It's my understanding that the communications group uses software, Adobe or so forth, and doesn't it catch all of the spaces and so forth? Kiana, can you speak to that?
I would suggest yes.
No, I'm
Yeah.
asking a question. I'm just assuming that, if when you send this, the format, especially like the extra spaces and so forth, the Adobe,
That will all be fixed.
by whom? By Adobe or a person?
A person.
Okay. All right. I know that Adobe fixes things, like, or suggests and so forth. So I guess they don't use it. Or I mean, what I'm asking is that you have a person that will physically go through this document the way we are, or are they using?
Yes, I want to say that I'm 100% saying that they're going to go through this just as well as we are to
Okay,
see
all
all
right.
the space and all the grammatical
Saying-
errors and all of that.
What I'm saying to you, and I think I'm agreeing with Ornetta, if in fact this is what she said. This is the first time we have heard of this person to go through this. And that's fine if that's the way, the county, operates. It just seems to me that they should be using software to catch these, I guess, glitches, grammatical errors and so forth. Let's just continue to go through, and just so when we send it to them, it'll be as clean as possible. Okay?
Okay.
I think there's only about another 4 or 5, so we're almost through this.
Okay.
The entry for September 28, 2022.
Yeah.
It's actually the Open Meetings Act with an S.
That is true. Yeah.
And we've got public boards, plural, so I think commission should be plural as well there on that line.
Okay.
Terrific. Terrific, terrific. I'm now down on November 9, 2022.
Before you go to November 9, you need to go to October the 9th. At least my read of the second sentence, there's a word missing, but I just wasn't sure what the word is that's missing.
Okay, so I just got word from Michelle that the communications department will be doing the formatting, so all the spaces will be gone that are in here. And they will also they have a person that's in that department as well that will do all the stylistic stuff. Like as far as if this word is right, if this word is right in this sentence. They have a program that she told me was Adobe that they'll be going through this.
Okay.
Okay,
And what was you saying about October the 9th?
Right there. After reviewing this process, the board moved forward.
yeah, there is a word.
I
There
don't
is
know
a
if it's
word.
the,
Yeah,
if
it's
you
on
want to
top.
say the board moved forward with the,
Yeah,
but it didn't make sense to even just stick with there. So
Arnetta, I was just going to observe there that I think they're using, I prefer a different word. I think move forward there means advanced.
okay, well, okay, hold on a second. Arnetta, can you go back? Because I agree with you. But if we take out move forward, if we leave in more forward, I think it's unnecessary. But if we say the board approved, let me see. Approved.
no, but we didn't. Maybe, but what Jim is saying, maybe that would work. The board advanced the rules of procedure for public comment and review. Sega, is that an appropriate word to use in that sentence?
Yeah,
I advanced,
It to be yeah.
after approving.
How should we phrase it, Sega? What should we say? The board what?
maybe
The rules
presented,
of procedure. Huh?
presented.
Okay. That's fine with me.
Yes, perfect.
So take out move forward and change it to present it.
Yes.
Perfect.
It's fine by me.
And then I'm gonna hold on, and you do that. And then on 18, I have something that was missing, but I'm not sure with that. Hold on.
Okay, 18.
I don't know. I changed something on it previously, but I can't tell what it was. So if it looks okay to everybody else, just we can go ahead and move forward.
Which date, Arnetta?
October the 18th.
Okay, hold on. Let's take a look at it.
And it might have already been accepted by Kiana, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I actually remember your suggestion, Arnetta, and I'm pretty sure when I reviewed it again, it was included, but don't hold me to it.
Because I don't even know.
No,
Okay.
I do remember your observation.
I'm about to see if I can find it and tell you what it was.
It sounds fine right now. Go ahead. Let's go.
Okay.
Move to the next one. Thank you. Sorry.
That's no
No worries.
problem. Yeah.
No worries. Okay, on November 9, 2022, the and shouldn't be there, so I put a comma in instead.
To allow for thorough analysis. Okay.
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 Oh, wait, I'm sorry, Kiana. Go back down one more time right there to November 9th. Hold on. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry.
Terrific. I'm moving to December 7 now. and it just whatever the correction was there, it just didn't quite make it in. So it was reading the board will set up a final meeting virtual, I think, which obviously
And I was
had some words missing.
I was gonna say you might want to stop there because that the tense of that sentence is incorrect. It's improper.
Yeah.
If you look at the tenses of the other sentences, that last one, the board will set a final meeting. It's just you can just say that the board. What did I say? This is what I put. The board adopted the rules of procedure, selected meeting dates for 2023, and reviewed the draft annual report. Right, we have that. Oh, and then the next one is we just said it. So not that we will set it, we said it.
Yes. Yeah.
So the board set a final meeting, which will be held virtually. Or you could say the board set a final meet. Does it have to say final though?
It is. Well, it doesn't have to say final. We can drop it. It's very clear.
Right. The board scheduled a meeting or set a meeting for whatever the 19th or whatever day this is. I'm sorry. Set a meeting. I was gonna say to be held virtually for the. I was gonna say for the sole purpose of, but that's it. That's right. We set up another meeting, right? The board was, and you could take out will.
Okay.
And take out up.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I guess when you say it like that, you can say the board set a final meeting for 2022 to be held virtually.
The board set a final meeting.
Set a fine. So take out that space.
I mean, all right.
That's okay. Set a final meeting for 2022.
Take out the word will.
Oh yeah, go back and take out will.
Just Ricardo, one more thing on that. And Jim, I think it was in one of your edits where it's a selected meeting dates for the first half of 2023, I think it said. I don't see it on here, but I believe that was in there somewhere.
Oh yeah, it just wasn't picked up. Yeah, good point.
But tell me this, because I thought about that initially, but does our year not run from July to June?
Yeah, I
So
wasn't
that's it.
sure.
Yeah, so that's y'all tell me. This is what I was thinking. That's why I didn't make any changes to that, because I don't know, but y'all whatever makes sense. But that's what I was thinking, is that technically our year ends
In June.
June the 30th, and we have all of our meetings through June scheduled.
If that's the case, then fine. Yeah.
So that's what. Okay, so Kiana, where I said the board set a final meeting for 2022.
Aneda, I'm not sure I understand what you mean by saying that we've got a year that runs from July to July. We were
So now year run from July to June.
July to
I don't
June.
know.
Sorry.
Sega, you tell me,
Yes,
because
it runs to June the 30th.
Wait,
June
no.
30th.
Yeah.
I'm
What
sorry.
runs to June the 30th?
The year.
What runs until June 30th?
Does the board year run from July 1st to June 30th every year?
That was my understanding.
Correct.
So do you understand, Jim? So we have the rest of our meeting dates scheduled for the remainder of this, whatever they
Well,
call
it would be next fiscal year.
Right. So this is our
I mean,
current fiscal year.
I don't
You
know about-
refer to
I
it as
don't
I'm
know
not sure
about
we've got a
the-
fiscal year, I guess is my point. Yeah.
I don't know about the statement that the board runs from June to July, because the board is set up indefinitely. The maybe member appointments maybe I'm not sure. Is that how
Yeah, member
That's our-
appointments, yes. They run that way. At least I'm looking at my appointment will end June the 30th, 2024.
Okay, so that's different. I think that the way the board quote unquote runs is different from saying necessarily how each member's appointment period is. So, I mean, so with regards to, I mean, I think that sentence is fine, whether or not the board, certain members' appointments run on a fiscal.
Right, and that's what Michelle just called and said that everybody has, well, the terms are different.
Are staggered, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
They're,
She says she's about to join as well.
Okay. But I think December 7th is fine at this point.
Okay.
And December the 12th is right as well.
Well, the A
I
and the
think
R
so.
in report that's changed.
Okay. Was that it, Jim, for that section? And then we can move on?
Yep, that's fine. And we're doing the December 12th changes now, capitalizing annual report like we've done elsewhere.
Go back.
Now, can we call it the PAB annual report then?
If y'all want to put that in, that's fine.
Fine by me.
I can't with this mouse pad. Okay.
It
Okay.
looks correct, Kiana, to me.
Sounds good. Okay, I'm now down into the future activities and the penultimate one, which is become familiarized. It's a very small point here, but that LEAs should have an apostrophe after the S.
I was about to say, I didn't even see that. Thank you. All right.
Are we there? Are we done? Oh, there's, gosh, the last one, so I'm going to herald it. I think it's the last one, is in the PAB LEA statistics section, Roman numeral 2. Given that we had sheriff complaints with a small c, I put a small c for PAB complaints, just for consistency. Very small point.
Okay.
And Kiana, I haven't pointed out the couple of spacing corrections that were made here because that's going to get picked up, I think.
Correct.
Okay.
And
I
your
believe
comma
that's-
up here, after the 9th, I mean, after the date.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
I think for consistency, we should remove it.
Yeah. There's no comma there. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then when you finish with this section, can we backtrack
Where?
back to the future activities section? Go. You can go down a little bit right there. Particularly the oh, go ahead. Did we take off? Continue to engage with the community? Oh, it just
No,
dropped.
it's just knocked off because of the.
Okay. No, I just had a question about that one. We removed and the youth member, and I wanted to
Correct.
know why.
Some
Why?
that was a change that somebody made.
Oh,
But we
I
should
believe
have
it was Mr.
that.
Gormley. I believe Mr. Gormley sent that, didn't you?
It was not me. It was not me.
I
No.
bel-
Then it was
I
Mr.
believe-
Morales. Then.
Mr. Morales, one of you?
believe it was me.
Okay.
And it was just a matter of continue to engage with whatever the wording was. It just seemed with the youth, I think it said, or with
It was no. It said continue to engage with the community and the youth member.
So maybe it should be appointed because you didn't know what a youth member was.
right. But the youth member is part of the community as well, correct? Or did we want to make sure that we singled out that because I'm assuming it's the board's youth member?
Youth member. I would suggest that it's
Okay,
not a person. Well, it is a person of the community, but she was specifically assigned to this board.
That's fine. If we could just make it more specific that it's that position.
And the PA, so y'all want to say the PAB's youth member?
Well, it's not the PAB's youth member, it's the school board rep.
Okay.
Correct.
No, it's the school board representative. I believe that when I saw what the change, Ms. Dwyer, I thought that, to be honest with you, engage with community probably.
Yeah,
explains
Michelle
most
is
because
garbled
that's
on
your-
my end.
Oh, you on your phone and
It's garbled.
online?
I'll get off the audio on the other one. So the statutorily, that's a mission of the board. I'm closing
Kiana,
it
send
out.
her a text or something because
Yeah,
she's
she's
garbled.
closing it out. She said she was closing it out now.
It's all closed up. Can you hear me now?
No, it's still echoing.
Okay, I will put on a headset. No problem. But
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
With respect to engaging with the youth member, I think Mr. Morales is, I think the confusion or necessity to have that, I'm kind of rethinking that. I didn't pick up on that. I don't really think it's necessary to even mention continuing to engage with the youth member. She's invited to a couple of meetings, but whatever your pleasure is fine. I just don't think it's necessary to say it.
I agree.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Can.
Yes.
On the youth member, I thought it was mandated that we meet with the youth member at least once a year.
It's
Yeah,
twice a year,
twice a year, and we do
Twice
that.
a year.
That's
So then I think that we probably need to mention in it, it says continue to engage in the community. And I think, and I may be wrong, but legally, I think we have to mention the youth member. I think we do, because it's mandated that we meet with a youth member. We have to state in this report, that not only we're engaging with the community, because that's also part of our responsibilities, but it's also part of our responsibilities to meet with the youth member. And that's
we should
specifically
say-
lined out. I'm just thinking, I don't know, you guys are the attorneys, but I just think for some reason that if
I
it's
think we're
lined
fine
out in
with
our
that.
mandate,
I just think we have to specify it, and I'll be fine if we just specify exactly what youth member we're talking about. That's all.
and say, we have to meet with them. I don't, okay, it's not that important to me. I think it's already handled and covered, but it's not
Do
going
you
to
want to
matter.
say youth member appointed pursuant to the public safety article?
That's fine. Yes.
Wait, hold on,
yep,
but let me
something
just
just
make
like
sure.
that.
I'm sorry?
No, I said that's fine. It just has to say something about it. It doesn't have to say who the youth member is. Just that we have to meet with a youth member. Because if we leave that out, we'll give the impression that we don't meet with the youth members at all. At least that's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong.
I just want to, I'm just clarifying one thing by looking at the code. You guys could go on, I could come back to this.
I think that was it.
Oh, was that the last
Wait a
one?
minute, no, Kiana, go back up to the top where you were. Top, one more time. Right there. Okay, so you
Yeah,
changed
we
that.
changed that. Yeah, that's why I said I think that was the last. Hold on, I'm going to still look though. I think that was the last one with the C in complaint for that. Yeah, that was it.
Okay,
I
awesome.
did want to raise one more thing. Annetta, were you going to raise any more items?
Nope, I don't think so.
Okay, so this is not a typo and it's not marked. It's just picking up on, Kiana, your note today concerning the matter that's been referred. And it really is just in terms of the report. If you look at page 10, the table at the top, we have that entry now for other. Just at the, if you so I'm on page, or maybe complaint, the section Police Accountability Board disposition. So the next section, can you just scroll down slightly? So we see there we've got other received December 8th under review.
Right.
And
That's
the
going to
new
be changed.
information, Kiana, that you provided today, similar to all the other ones, is referred to police department, right? So should
Right. That's why I just said that will be changed.
Did you say
Can you
that
just
already?
change it now, Kiana?
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, I think you can leave the, well, it's up to you. You can leave the words under review still in there because it's not sustained or sustained, it's under review. But after that, put referred to police department.
Okay, well, okay.
With regards, do you guys want to hear from me now on the youth thing?
Hold on 1 second, say, because if you're going to say to change something, just give me a minute.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm going to put it
Yeah, for
not
consistency.
HCPD. I got to be consistent. My bad. I'm sorry. All right. Say I'm ready.
Where was the language about the, oh. Did you already take out the language that said youth representative?
Yeah. So now it just says continue to engage with the community.
Oh, so wait, did you guys make a decision you were gonna take out the
No,
reference?
it should have it. It should have
Okay.
what the language that you recommended.
Right.
Okay,
That's
so,
what I'm waiting for.
yeah, I kind of knew this, and that's why I double checked. So, you could say comma, including
Mm-hmm.
meeting with community youth representatives as required
Mm-hmm.
by the Howard County Code. It wasn't the public safety article, and that's what I was double checking.
Okay.
Is the board okay with that?
I am.
Yes, I
Yes,
am.
I am. That's fine.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify the source of the law before we put it into the report. Okay, is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's it.
All right. Kiana, do you want to, can you take off the draft watermark on here?
Yeah, so I have to copy this into the last document that I had because this is just Mr. Gormley's, but I will take it off like once I put everything in and then send it back out.
This is your draft.
No, it's yours.
Hold on, but it is your, I'm assuring you, this was your draft sent out late last night with my proposed revisions all marked and now accepted or rejected. So we've got integrity in this document, I think.
Okay.
So maybe you should just save this one as the final one because if Mr. Gormley is saying he worked off the very last draft.
One that I sent last night at 10.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I can assure
That's
you
my
that this is
apology
your
then.
document with changes either accepted or rejected at this point.
Okay. All right.
You could maybe say final all edits or save it as final all edits or something, just so you know.
Okay.
Can we take the draft watermark off of it and then we'll know for sure?
All right. I can stop screen sharing.
Yeah,
Okay.
so then I
You want to do it, just use the search key, you can put, remove watermarks.
Michelle, we can't hear anything you're saying.
Michelle, we can't
There's
understand
an
you.
echo. You could put it into the chat, Michelle. I could look at that.
Okay. I'm going to stop screen sharing because I can't see the top of my document.
Oh, sure,
This whole
okay,
bar is up here. Right. That's what I was saying.
fine. You can stop screen sharing.
Sega, as we're removing the watermark, maybe we did it already, remove all the draft tracking that's on the cover page as well, right? Draft res, December 10, board comments, JRG inputs, that should all go as well.
I'm sorry, I missed, you said if we're removing
But
the,
at the time that we're removing the watermark. if
I
you're
got it,
happy to
Mr.
draw it-
Gormley.
I'm sorry?
oh, I just wanted to hear what he said though. At the time we removed the watermark, what?
Shall we also
He said
remove?
take his,
Unless they're already removed, should we take off, Kiana, I can't see the draft anymore. If they're still there, take off the various draft notations that are on the cover sheet.
yeah, I got him.
Yep, okay,
Yeah,
I just couldn't see my search bar at the top. That's why I had to stop sharing my screen.
absolutely.
okay.
Kiana, you've been in the unenviable position of having to do all your work in front of all of us looking at you, so you've done a great job.
So
Alright,
at this
so I
time, do we
can-
just need a motion to?
Hold on 1 second. I'm taking all of the spaces out that I couldn't take out now.
I'm
I'm
just
taking them
waiting
all out.
for her to do whatever it is she wants to do, and then she could re-email it to the whole board. And then at the time we make the motion, it would be that draft. I'm gonna put you guys on mute just for a second.
Okay.
All right, I'm sharing my screen again so y'all can see everything. All right. That's the first page. Slow me down if y'all need to.
Well, can I just slow you right down? I think at this point, if we're removing the draft watermarks, which we are, and producing the final, we probably should get rid of the draft rev or whatever it was on the cover page. You know, that and the working final copy.
They're saying put a comma behind that, but
Just ignore it.
okay. Mr. Gormley, all the spaces were gone.
I'm sorry?
All the spaces are all of the spaces gone.
I inserted some spaces that weren't there, I think, primarily, and it looks good at the moment. Sego had suggested you were going to email this to all of us. So
Yes, I am.
great. Okay. I'll look there, but yeah, it looked good, Kiana. Yeah.
Ben, come answer my phone. Hello. Okay. This all needs to be moved up. But
Oh, where's your phone?
all right. That should be everything.
Now make me turn it off. 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 Turn it off.
Anything else need to be changed?
Conference call.
All right. Okay.
We're good.
You see my footnote there, and Nellie, this goes to the fact that we're unlikely to actually get to the information requests of the police department. I noted there, assuming we were going to, the PAB has been provided these statistics by the police department and is currently requesting further information on these complaints. Maybe we should change that to "and will request."
I think so.
Yeah.
Come on. Give me that. Okay.
Anything else? Anything else needs to be changed?
Hold on just a second.
Okay.
I'm looking at this total complaints, 22, exonerated 1, not sustained, sustained. Okay. Okay. Okay, what are we waiting for now? Oh, I can't hear it. Am I muted? No, I'm not.
No,
We
I-
can
we can hear you.
Okay.
I think we're good.
Okay.
Whoever wants to move to adopt this as the board's final report, get a second and then a vote, and then you guys are done.
Okay, is any, yes?
Yeah,
Mr.
I could do it.
Yes.
So I move that the board adopts the Howard County Accountability Board 2022 annual report as drafted.
A second.
Okay, I'd call for the vote, right?
Who was at that second, Miss Brenda
me,
or
Paul
Mr.
Rivers
Oh,
first.
okay, got you.
I think we both did it at the same time.
Okay.
Okay, are we ready for the question?
Question.
Okay, yes, for me, Nellie Hutt.
Ricardo Morales, yes.
Arnetta Wire, yes.
Paul Rivers, yes.
Jim Gormley, yes.
Brenda McChristen, yes.
It's unanimous. Vote passes, and the annual report for Police Accountability Board 2022 is adopted.
Congratulations, everybody.
Thank you.
Right.
Can I ask a quick question on the report? Terrific. In terms of the formatting that's going to occur now within the county administrative
It will
offices.
be shared back to you all.
Okay. Okay. Or I was going to make a suggestion that we might suggest that, Kiana, if you look at the formatting, well, this is a suggestion for consideration. You look at the formatting and see that that the formatting is in good shape and that there has been no substantive changes made as a result of the formatting. I'm not sure we need to get back together as a board. I'd appreciate receiving a copy, obviously, but I was just thinking through what's the most efficient way to get this finalized without us all having to get back together. So that's my suggestion.
Mr. Gormley, thank you. It was my assumption that this is our final meeting. We have adopted and approved the final report, and that's it. I don't see a need to get back together unless after we receive it, we see something that was not picked up. I don't understand how it could not be picked up, but just in case. But as far as I'm concerned, it's happy holidays.
Well, I will also say, like, if you guys get this report and you see some stylistic or grammatical or whatever error, at that point, it'll be too late anyway, because it's going to be disseminated to the intended parties. I'm assuming. So, Michelle, this has to be transmitted by the 30. Oh, you can't talk. She's going to type it. So this is due pursuant to the code by December 31st. I'm assuming this will be transmitted to the intended recipients, which is the county council and the exec, shortly. And I'm assuming Michelle is typing to let us know when this will be done. It will be sent that day. What day?
So if there were, we can take this risk, it seems to me, that the formatting folks aren't going to change it substantively. But Sega, to your point, I guess we could holler if it came across and we saw some fundamental, substantial change. It's not going to happen. I think we're in good shape.
Yeah. Wait, but just to clarify with Michelle, you said it'll be sent that day. What day? Oh, 12/31 or earlier, correct? Okay. And Michelle, can whatever copy is finally disseminated after formatting to the exec and council, can we just make sure we get an individual copy for each member of the board?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm sure Kiana would have taken care of that anyway. So all I was saying is, from a legal and practical standpoint, there will not be any further changes to this report.
No.
Right.
Okay, so are we done? Any more comments or want to make sure everybody can talk and just kind of get it out. And of course, if you think of something, just put it in an email to Kiana and we'll go from there. Okay.
I was going to note that I think we need to have our agenda items for the next meeting. This will be our last opportunity to do that.
And just
The next agenda items will, well, what's left on the, I'm so sorry, I don't have it up, but I think it would be the report.
Carried over from the last meetings, Nelly, if that's helpful. It's the draft ACC legislation inputs. I saw, Michelle, that there was no pre-file yet. So I'm assuming at this point it's not being pre-filed in December.
Okay, wait a minute. What is different than what we approved for the last meeting that you're referring to?
Haven't approved the draft ACC legislation inputs, Nelly. It's been deferred.
No, I understand that. I'm saying to you, you asked, maybe I misunderstood. Maybe, did I hear you say we need to talk about the agenda for the next meeting or no? Did I say
the agenda for the next meeting? Yes.
Okay. All right. Did we not do that at our last meeting? That's what I'm asking.
We did not. No.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Go ahead. You can proceed, please.
Thank you, Nelly.
Jim, before you jump to the agenda for the agenda items for the next meeting, I thought, Nelly, when you came on tonight, you mentioned that there was a second agenda item for tonight, and that was relative to the LEAs, whatever we were asking for. And
Yes.
Michelle made it perfectly, and John at the last meeting made it very clear that we needed to resolve that today because we have to give them sufficient time to pull together whatever it is we're asking for.
Okay, I do remember the discussion, but we can start it, but we're getting very close to the 8 o'clock hour, and I don't think we're going to be able to resolve that in 10 minutes, but we can certainly start it. I don't have an objection to that at all. So if anyone who wants to talk about that, just go right ahead. I just don't think we're going to be able to complete that task tonight. Okay, but I have no problem starting it.
Michelle, do you have a jumping off point? I know that you only can type, but did you?
Can you hear me now?
No, you have an echo, and then sometimes it sounds like you're underwater.
Okay.
Perhaps if you
I'll
go off,
I'll type.
or go out and come back in.
Okay,
and you may
come in. Okay,
Michelle,
okay.
is your phone hung up?
Yes, my phone has been hung up.
Okay.
So go out, yeah. And then maybe Michelle already has a starting point for us, so we will know, unless somebody has already given serious consideration to what it is we should be requesting. I thought we were leaning on Herman to help us really come up with this list of what we should be asking for.
That is true.
So, I mean, because I don't know what to ask for.
I did produce a set of information requests if you're looking for a starting off point. It may not be comprehensive in terms of everyone's perspective, but I could certainly start with that.
Okay.
Sure, I think it's worth. Yeah. Did you circulate it around to us, or are you just going to tell it to us now?
I didn't circulate it around because I think my action was to get it to you, Nellie, but I'm more than happy if I shoot it across to Kiana right now, we can put it up on the screen.
Okay.
Is that something, can I jump in there for a second, guys? Nellie's right. We've got 10 minutes. Okay. But I guess you guys can stay on as long as you want, but she said 10 minutes. And I'm wondering if you should send us the list first so we can take a look at it instead of, pulling out this protracted meeting, because we had thought we were going to be done within half hour to an hour.
Well, I tell you what, Jim, let's do this. Send around, send it to Kiana to distribute, and everyone can kind of look at it. I just don't think it's really worth. But I mean, I will do what the board wants. Okay, we still have 10 or 11 minutes. But I think if we, in order to kind of delve into this, I don't see any reason why not to distribute it and let people think about it. I
agree. It took us 2 hours, almost hour and a half, just to do grammatical corrections to the report, let alone something, obviously more substantive, which is this list of requirements. So
in agreement with you, supporting Brenda, your thought that we're not going to get it done in this time frame. Perhaps at this point, despite our best intentions, we need to realize that we're finite in terms of our capacity, and that the information request is something we will probably approve at our next meeting. I don't know how we're going to do it otherwise. And that obviously means that we're not going to take advantage of the next few weeks by having an information request into the LEAs, but we'll be making progress towards that for our next meeting. So I'm going to suggest we might call the horses off for trying to get it in before the holidays.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me any better, or is this worse?
Oh,
That's good. We can
Much
hear
better.
you.
Okay.
Much better.
I'm sorry, but I'm sorry. So I got back in. I just wanted to make just the statement that we've asked preliminarily for the LEAs to provide a summary of the last 3 years of the complaints for you. We have made that preliminarily as a request on your behalf, so that will be ready for the January meeting. If you'd like to begin there, and then also to get some information and reports that they have on just different crime statistics and what's going on, for you to actually just to start as a starting point, if that would be a discussion that you'd like to have.
All right. I think, thank you, Michelle. I think, okay. But Jim, I want to ask you to actually send your list to Kiana, and I want her to share it. And then, it may include what Michelle just asked for. If not, I certainly want to, have a discussion on Jim's other suggestions. So I think we can start from there. If Kiana can distribute it, and then given what Michelle said, and thank you, Michelle, we can kind of go from there. We don't need to duplicate what has already been done. We want to make sure that, we include everything that we have considered.
If I'll just say one thing. if Mr. Gormley is going to send around this list, I would just remind everybody that you all shouldn't be discussing that list in an email. It's just for each member's review for further discussion at the next meeting. And then whatever that list that is sent to everybody will be reproduced and disseminated at the next meeting and will become a part of the public record of the board. That way we stay away from any violations or potential violations of the Open Meetings Act.
Okay, well, but I don't, Sega, please correct me if I'm wrong. The dissemination without discussion is not an error, or is it?
I'm sorry?
Okay,
No.
I just asked Kiana to distribute. What I'm saying to you, the distribution without discussion would not violate.
Correct. And that's
Okay.
what I'm saying is that you could disseminate it, everyone will have it, it'll become a part of, it'll be a permanent record of the board. And what I'm saying is at the next meeting, that list will be disseminated again to all the members of the
Okay.
board. It'll be a public record of the board. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, and
Saying
also,
don't discuss it in an email.
Understand.
Like, I think this is a good list, not good list. I want to
Right.
add, subtract. That's to be done in an open meeting.
okay, and what about Michelle's comment about what they have already asked for? Should that not be a public record? Should we not have that also?
What do you mean by should that not be?
It's,
Well, if I understood Michelle correctly,
Mhm.
a request has already gone out.
it's an
right?
administrative, so from administration, we've made this
I
request.
see it's
So
administrative.
so we
Okay.
made this request and they'll be prepared to make a presentation on complaints over the last 3 years and to be able to give a summary, names, information,
Okay.
including that information for you. So that's what we've asked for, and for them to be prepared to do that. And then to be able to talk about what Mr. Charity had asked, which was talk about the procedures, was the investigative procedures, Kiana, from that last meeting. We asked for those two things initially so that they could be ready for those two things.
Okay, so what you're saying is that what Mr. Charity expressed was included in your request.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, then,
Michelle, was that done formally?
No, what we've done is we sent an email and we asked for that. We made that request. We sent an email to all both law enforcement agencies as part of the invitation, because the idea was the fact that they were supposed to come and present to the board. So we wanted to give them a topic to present on, and we let them know that you might have additional information request today, and to be prepared for that as well.
Okay.
sounds good. Okay, so we're clear on that?
And I just popped that document across to Kiana, so you have it now.
Okay, so are we setting agenda items?
Yes. Well, I'm just, in addition to the one we've just talked about, I just wanted to carry forward the last two agenda items from our last meeting that we didn't get to.
I think those will be carried forward.
Okay, so that being the case, I have nothing more. If the unfinished agenda items, they were Roman numeral 5 and Roman numeral 6 carried to the next meeting.
Okay, thank you.
The only thing I want to point
Before-
out is I think one of those items was reviewing or providing comment on the ACC legislation.
Right.
However, I believe and Michelle could correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the pre-file date, which is the date that the county exec intends to submit that bill to the council, is December
22nd or 21st or 22nd. Was it the 22nd or is it 21st? It's next week.
Okay, so it's next week.
Mhm.
So, you guys, so it may be passed. So when would it be passed, Michelle? That would be
It's already,
February.
I mean, here, the issue is that, I mean, Mr. Gormley has sent comments, and I don't know if the board has had a chance. I know he sent it out to the board, hasn't had the chance to discuss his comments. And I think that in some ways, those comments were discussed in part, but I know that you guys have not fully discussed those comments. And that's what we were waiting on direction from the board regarding that.
So, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My question is this: we don't have enough time to discuss anything at this point because, like you said, it's 8 o'clock now, and we want to
Yes.
get off. My proposal is to push this to the next meeting and we'll start afresh. So we'll have to delay what we need from them for a month. But I don't think that's going to be a major problem because if push comes to shove, next meeting, we can add another meeting until the next month in order to get the information outdated instead of rushing now or rushing then trying to get something and we mess it all up. Understand?
No, Mr. Rivers, what I was just pointing the board's attention to is the fact that after 12/22, it will be too late for the board to provide any comment or suggestions on the ACC legislation because the county exec is intending to pre-file his bill on either December 21st or December 22nd. I'm just alerting the board to that. Now, what I could say is if each member of the board individually wants to review the ACC legislation and submit comments individually, not in their capacity as a PAB member, because you can't say as a PAB member, I'm recommending the following recommendations without vetting from the entire board. But in your individual capacities, if you want to make some suggestion or comments to the county exec, you could do that since there's not going to be another meeting before when the exec intends to submit his bill to the county council. So, but I want to be abundantly clear, if any member of the board elects to individually provide comments, that has to be clear that you're doing it in your individual capacity, not as a member of the board, because whatever comment you're submitting hasn't been vetted or approved by the board. Does everyone understand?
Yes.
Understand.
Yeah.
Sager, an observation, you know, we can certainly obviously proceed as you're suggesting with individual comments. Obviously that not satisfactory and clearly we would be more united and more forceful if we could have done it on the board level. We're clearly out of time for good reason. Paul notes we've only got a finite amount of time. I think it's worth having the discussion at the board level at our next meeting in January because right up until the legislative hearing, a couple of days before, Dr. Ball will have the opportunity to submit amendments and county council members will have the opportunity to submit amendments. So the legislation can evolve and our comments can be inputted and received and acted on by both the county executive and the county council as we go through the legislative process. So I would say better late than never. And even after the 22nd, we still, I think, relevantly could provide inputs as a PAB.
That is a very good and legitimate point made by Mr. Gormley. When is the January meeting?
It's the 18th, I believe, isn't it?
Okay, so I don't know if that meeting on the 18th will be sufficient time for you all to submit any comments to either the council or the county exec. But obviously, if the county council hasn't voted on passing the bill or whatever, then you all are free to do that. That's a very good point.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I think that's our only option, really, if we're going to weigh in on it.
Chair, as a point of just a clarification point, how long? So then, for the law enforcement agencies, should we tell them 30 minutes each then? Because how long will you need for the discussion for the legislation?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't
Given, I just want to make sure that, so when they're making a presentation, they don't go too long, but I also wanted to have interaction. You all had interaction with them, which was part of the issue is that we haven't had interaction with them. I mean, I guess the thing about it is that we can, we can, I don't know what we're going to do with the our intent was to pre-file the 20 for this in December. So that was our intention, was to do that. And so we just hadn't gotten a lot of, we did have comments from Mr. Gormley who sent them to the board early on. So but I haven't seen any, but if there is more need to talk about the legislation besides.
Michelle, my question is, when we're talking about time, if they took 30 minutes, are they going to have time for questions and answers? Because
That's
I know,
the issue. Right.
Well, there's going to be questions and answers. So, for probably each agency, knowing, how our board is very, very inquisitive, when it comes to
Interactive.
wanting to know the different things is that you're going to have to allow, that could take up the entire board time, just dealing with those issues. So we as a board have to make the decision if we want to engage in this at our next meeting. You have to postpone something because we're not getting everything in. So either that or we'll have to add another meeting.
Well, you have a February
Either
meeting. You
before
do have
or
a February
after.
meeting, a joint meeting too. But I mean, you do have the
Right.
February meeting, but that's a joint meeting. But you're right. That's your issue, is that if you're going to provide comments in your January meeting, you may shortchange the law enforcement agencies. I'm just mentioning that. That's all I wanted to mention.
I have one quick question. For the meeting in January, is there a specific topic that the board has asked the LEAs to present on? Or are they presenting on the documents that they're transmitting, or what is the presentation on?
It's the documents. It would be the complaint process and the investigation process, which is what the two things that were brought up by the board, which is which was brought up at the last meeting. That's what we have them so far, and then this request.
Okay, those documents can the documents be transmitted to the board in advance of the January 18th meeting?
That's what our hope is, at least to give you a couple of days in advance to be able to look at them so that you have some time to review them. Yes. And you have the investigative policy.
Okay, so in lieu of like some presentation from the LEA, and this is just to conserve time, can the meeting be spent as dialogue between board members and the LEAs rather than first getting a presentation and then asking? Because
I agree. I just thought that somewhat you'd want to see if you wanted them to show any of the stuff, for the public who might not have had the opportunity, because it's also a public venue, to be able to have the public to share some of it, but they can minimize their presentation and make it written reports, if that's the desire of the board.
Well, and I think Mr. Rivers makes a very good point, as others have. I mean, it's always a time crunch to get everything in. So any effort to have, the necessary interaction would be greatly appreciated. I think that I like Sega's idea of this being kind of more interactive, but that requires that each board member go through that report and be very succinct and clear on what they're asking. Of course, they will have an opportunity to expand. I mean, the question can be specific, and then they can expand on it. I'm not sure how other way to handle the time crunch.
I think if you're so Chair, if I'm just understanding, when we're giving to give them some ideas, so an abbreviated presentation, maybe less than 5 minutes, but you will have the documentation in advance, and then they would be able to answer questions and have interaction with the board. Would that be?
I think that's what everyone. I think that's what everyone is really saying. My concern is that we get bogged down in the presentation that is obvious in the written report,
right?
And don't have time to interact. That's my concern. And I think
an abbreviated presentation would be the best. So just something, basically introductions of who's here. Here's our information. I mean, this is, these are the people that are here.
Maybe some highlights if they want to highlight, but I don't think they need to kind of go through the report just line for line. I think the abbreviated report, including the highlights of what they did, and then each board member has to be tasked with the responsibility of going through the report and be prepared to interact. That would be my suggestion.
Got it.
Anyone else want to weigh in on that? Brenda, are you? I'm not sure. Okay, go ahead.
I'm still here. I'm just listening.
So I saw your screen light up. So yeah. I just wanted to make sure I was not ignoring you. Anyone else want to kind of comment or weigh in on what I just said?
Well, the one thing, Madam Chair, is in terms of, are we going to get any of these reports prior to the meeting, or they'll bring it to the meeting and that's the first time we'll see it?
Yeah, that's what Michelle just said. We will get it prior to the meeting.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. But I really want to be clear, and kind of lean on you guys to come to the meeting. If this is the way we're going to go, which I'm suggesting, but it's not my decision. I really think that we have to read the report and be prepared to interact. That's my point.
Agreed.
Understood. And I think that's good because I do believe that we need the interaction or the conversation with the LEAs more so
Right.
than regurgitation of what they've already given us. So
Right, that's what I said, a question and answer period. Because I know everybody's going to come with their own, particular questions that they want to have answered or not, but we want to give them the opportunity to be prepared. Now, to make a suggestion that we send Kiana, once we get a copy of the reports they sent us, we can send Kiana a list of questions we would like for them to answer. That way they won't be shocked on the questions and be able to maybe answer them in full. I don't know how the board feels about that.
I think that's a great idea. I never like to kind of hoodwink anybody and I think that's a good example. I mean, I think that's a good, and that will kind of force us to I'm trying to be efficient here, okay? And I don't think it's necessary to let them talk for an hour. I really think that if we tell them we want an abbreviated, highlighted kind of what we're going to talk about, and I'm ready for discussion type. I would prefer that.
May I make a suggestion?
Yes, please.
And with regard to adult learning behaviors and theory, what we typically do is suggest no more than 10 to 15 minutes of a presentation for the major issues.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. And kind of putting it in a more clinical way. I really appreciate that. I didn't know that, so thank you, Brenda, for offering that. Yeah. So Michelle, are you clear on terms of what we're asking?
Yes, I think that's fine. I think the only problem, if we have too many, if it wins the too many questions, they may over prepare and they may bombard you with slides, but we'll see how that goes because people tend to like to do PowerPoints, but I will keep with Brenda just said, because we'll make sure that they understand that, we don't want to lose the audience. So they'll be prepared, but they won't be over prepared by saying, well, here's all this, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have the conversation. I think they need to have the conversation with you to come back because you'll have, you're going to have, that's what the part of this is. So I think they will be ready and the questions will help them to understand. So I think that's great.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys, anything else? Don't want to short circuit. Okay, we've approved the annual report, and I really thank you guys for that. It was a diligent effort. I appreciate it. And then we're going to Michelle will be getting with the police and the sheriff to make that request, and we're gonna read the report and be prepared. Okay, we're good. If we think of anything else, just shoot Kiana an email and we'll see if we can handle it. Okay.
Okay.
Sega, are you talking? We can't hear you, Sega.
Sorry, thank you. I'm sorry. Did you all finalize the agenda for the next meeting?
Oh.
Okay. So we have the law enforcement presentation so far, and we also have the last two agenda items, which is another discussion, which is that what you have, Kiana? Would you read back what we have?
I have the law enforcement presentation or conversation, however y'all want to word it. We had an information request from them. We can leave that as well.
Yeah. Let me see. Oh, the information request. I think yes, I think what we were just discussing is that we were going to, let me see what I've lost.
We're going to email that to each other, and then you're going to have discussion on the information request once you start. So do you want to do the information request first after you do it? So that way you can discuss the emails that have been sent that Kiana will provide to you, and then you have the law enforcement discussion? Or either way?
No, I think there's a reference to the broader information requests that we still have to work on.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So,
unrelated to the presentations, yeah.
Right, so that's what I'm saying, that you're gonna, everyone's going to send emails to Kiana. She's going to disseminate that back to you. Do you want to have that presentation before the law enforcement discussion or after? In the order of the agenda.
Right.
Probably before. Wouldn't it make more
That's
sense?
what I would think. It probably makes sense before. Then they also know that you're asking for this information because you would have seen it. You would have seen what you've already gotten, and then you can also may have that discussion based on what you've already gotten and whether it's answered some of your questions or not.
Yeah, I think so.
So you have that. So you can have a brief discussion on that to say this is what our request is, and Kiana will provide everybody with what everyone else has sent. Does that make sense?
I think it makes sense. Anyone else?
So that would be number one, and then number two would be the presentation, and then number three would be a discussion on the legislation.
I think so. Anyone else?
I'm a little bit confused. Maybe maybe the only one is confused, but are we talking about one information request or two? And let me elaborate on why I'm confused. Separate from the existing planned law enforcement presentation that Michelle, you and your office have led and gone out in advance and asked for some information, very helpful. We have had a discussion about how we are going to develop a broad information request for data.
Correct.
So when you were
So it's
talking
a
about
second
this
one.
agenda item, which of those two is it? That's where I'm confused.
It would be the first item on the agenda, but it would be a separate item from number two, which is the presentation itself. So they would not be giving a presentation on your information request. You're asking for additional information than what I've requested. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
So number one would be your information request discussion. Number two would be the law enforcement presentation. And then number three would be a discussion about the legislation, the ACC legislation. That's what I have in mind. That's what I have in
Well,
mind.
there's one
Would
more.
be
There are two.
presentation plus Q&A with law enforcement, right? Just to be clear.
Yes, the presentation law enforcement includes the Q&A.
Yeah, so
So I have-
let's make the agenda
go.
clear that says presentation and Q&A with the law enforcement agencies.
Okay.
Brenda, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I have to go.
Okay.
This is, yeah,
Thank you.
2
Thank
hours.
you.
2
We're
hours.
already.
Happy holidays. I'll
Good
see
night,
you guys
Brenda.
next year. I am
See
out
you
of the
next year.
country a week from Wednesday. Well, from Wednesday.
All right, safe
Enjoy.
travels. Safe
Back
travels, and thank you.
2023.
Oh, wait
Thank
a
you.
minute. Do you
Hey,
have a
guys.
quorum? Wait, will
Yeah,
you have a
Paul-
quorum
Paul
when
is
Brenda
still here.
leaves?
I think Paul is
They
still
will.
here.
It's three? It's four? You have four, right?
There's
Correct.
another agenda. There were two agenda items being carried forward
Done.
from.
Are you done with the
December.
strike?
You're good.
Bye, Brenda.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm still
bye.
here. Bye,
Um,
Brenda.
Michelle, you referred to one of the two agenda items carried forward from December 7. The second one is Roman numeral 6 on the agenda for the last meeting. And it says this: closed session to obtain legal advice on tools to use or seek from the county council and county executive to ensure accountability and transparency of law enforcement agencies. And then back, I think, into open session to finish the mission of the board discussion. So that's one of the carried forward agenda items from the last meeting.
I don't recall. I can't speak on it.
Yeah, I do remember that item. Do you all want to move that forward? Because that will make this meeting very long. So you'll,
We're not going to be able to meet on all of that stuff. I think 3 items is fine. We can choose to do one or the other of those two. I think is my opinion, but I think
I worry, Ricardo. I agree. It's far too much for one meeting. So it's possible we'll have to carry one of those, presumably the one I've just discussed, forward to a subsequent meeting.
I agree.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Well,
Okay. All right. Now, happy holidays, and thank you for all of the hard work, and we'll talk soon.
I'd like to move from adjournment.
Second.
I second.
Nelly,
Ricardo,
Hunt,
yes. Ricardo, yes.
Paul, yes.
Yes. Jim Gormley, yes.
happy holidays,
Holidays,
everybody.
everybody.
All
Enjoy.
right, thank you.
Happy
Good night.
holidays.
Good night.
Night.
All right. Good night.